On the corner of Charles Street and Barmbygate, the church has been there since 1886. Over the years, there have been many changes and improvements, projects continuing until now and more planned into the future. With a building of that age, maintenance and general upkeep is demanding and time-consuming. For more than 30 years now, Paul and Lesley Whiteley have been the key people looking after these changes and looking after the building itself, finding and supervising trades that come in and completing much of the work themselves. We all owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to them both for all the hours of work they and their family have contributed to the church. Throughout this lockdown period, work at the church has continued unabated. Thanks to Zoom, I've been able to find out firsthand exactly what has been going on and what improvements you can expect to see and appreciate once we're able to return to meeting together in church. At the start of our conversation on Zoom, I asked them both what had brought them to Charles Street in the first place, and how did you get so involved with looking after and maintaining all the parts of the building?
Well, I was born and bred at Charles Street. My mum and dad used to go to Charles Street. So, you know, obviously I've been there quite a while. And Lesley used to worship at London Road Congregation. So obviously, you know, she didn't come to Charles Street until she
1966.
1966, good year. We won the World Cup that year. And also I got a job at Simo's. So how did I get the job for looking after this building? Well, I can't read music. I'm not a theologian. And, you know, I wanted to give, if you know what I mean. And I was approached, I think, in the early years by Mel to assist with the sound. And we had a little 6-mixer, pop mixer at the back. And I operated that. That was sort of like an introduction to looking after the building, in a sense. Anyway, then some years ago, they were looking for a property person. And so I thought, well, I could do this, you know, it's my sort of forte. Not very good at paperwork, but I can, you know, I can do things. So I said I'd have a go.
So during this lockdown 12 months, there's still been an awful lot of work going on at the church. Can you give us a rundown on some of the things that have been going on and you've been involved with?
Yes, well, I mean, obviously, it all started while we were in the lockdown. It was generally agreed that we ought to get on with some of the bigger jobs, get them out of the way so that we could be ready for when we are able to join again. And of course, big jobs, a lot of interruption to things, so it seemed a very good idea. And we had to start with the roof, the main roof. That's where it fully sort of started. And then we had problems with the several other roofs. And so, of course, obviously we had to get those into place. It was a bit difficult because obviously we was in lockdown. We had to, I wanted to make sure that we got good value for money. And the guys that I chose were really good. And I asked if there are any good roof tiles available, you know, left, that they would store them for me, which they did. And I was able to sell them, you know, on Facebook because they, you know, some of them were okay. Some were wafer thin, really wafer thin, unbelievable. So I was able to do that, and we did that for the other roofs. And so those major works that had to be done to look after the building from the outside. And we also then decided to get some of the windows that weren't double glazed from previous time. We got those done, and also some new doors at the back, because again they were showing signs of wear, and obviously always had to be maintained, where PVC, a wipe down, job done. So we got some good companies to do that. We had to be down there several times to make sure that the contractors will come in to give me a quote, a free quote, and sometimes we didn't go with them. Sometimes it was rare, but once or twice people didn't even turn up, but that was rare. The majority of people did turn up, even if they were a bit late. But yes, it went really well, and the people we've chosen in the end were really good workers. It's nice to meet them, you know, even though you're not supposed to, sort of thing.
So which windows have actually been replaced as new ones now?
Right. Well, we'll start at the beginning. We had the porch window changed. That's the one as you come into the porch on your right, that is actually in Charles Street. That one's been done. You continue through the church and you go into the creche. That one's been done. You go into the disabled loo. That one's been done. You go into the ladies' loo. That one's been done. And then if you go into the vestry.
No, the yellow room.
Oh, yeah, the yellow room. Yes, sorry. The yellow room's been done as well. And then we go to the kitchen door. And then we also had the back doors done in the passageway between the disabled loo and the ladies' loo. That's double doors, emergency doors, and they're, you know, all new as well. So those are done. The vestry windows has been done as well.
And the lino room.
And the lino room. The old passageway doors were also transferred to the outside as double gates, because the double gates, or certainly the frame especially, had rotted. So I adapted them to go outside into the yard, so they're like reused, which was a nice project.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Rather than just chucking them away, because they were good doors, but high maintenance. But if it's out in the yard, it's not quite so crucial.
I noticed
so
they were blue.
Yeah. Then we turned to do the inside. So we got quotes for painting, decorating the inside. Eventually we chose a guy, and he lived in London, and he moved up this way. He hasn't got an employer at the moment. He used to have a person work with him. So he's actually done this on his own, the whole church. That's all the ceiling, the walls, pipe work, woodwork, etc. So for him to do that all on his own, yes, he has got a very good tower, but nevertheless, he's done a great job, really, considering. Obviously a lot younger than me, obviously, but nevertheless, big job. So really, really pleased to get that done. Again, that means that we don't have to interrupt services or cancel things or whatever. So that was really good to get that done. We also have had done, all our church lights have been done. When I say done, they're being changed from really big industrial to LED lights. So we're going to save money on the lighting bill, and we're also reducing our carbon footprint. Obviously, and these lights are much better for the environment. So those are all done, and they're all in place now. We've also had changed are boiler controls, and they're in the church now, but we're still learning about those because they're totally different what we used to have. Again, ideally to try and make it easier for everybody to use, to be more efficient, etc. But that is something else. We're also going to be looking into altering or mending the large curtain at the back of the church, because one of the large curtains fell down just before lockdown. I've had somebody looking at it for a long while, but unfortunately I haven't made any headway. I've been looking at it now recently, and I'm hoping for some good news with that, but nothing at the moment, so I'm still waiting for that.
All this work going on must create an awful lot of mess. Who does the clearing up?
Well, basically, we've done it between us.
How long have you been doing that job then, Lesley?
What, just the clearing up or as
Oh.
caretaker?
Caretaker and clearing up.
I've been caretaker for 30 plus years. We've been clearing up from the workers for about 3 weeks, and we've had funerals in between.
And I think a final question to do with what's happening now and into the future. We just had the 2 cameras installed for live streaming. What do you think about that then? Do you think that's a good move?
I think it's fantastic. But, you know, obviously there's a lot to learn, and we need to get more people involved to make it a bit easier for folk. But the capabilities is brilliant, and the clarity. And another way of witnessing, you know, worshipping together. It's a really good idea.
Okay, well, I think we'll finish it there. And
Okay.
thank you for your time and effort, and for everything that you are doing at the church. It is incredible. You're doing
No, it's teamwork, mate. Teamwork. You as well.
All I have and all I am is yours. There's nothing that I have.